Welcome to Mind's Quotes. Atomic Habits by James Clear. Introduction. The surprising power of atomic habits. What if you could transform your life by changing just one tiny habit? Not a grand plan. Not a massive goal. Just a small, invisible shift. Something so tiny it almost feels meaningless. But here's the secret. Tiny changes, when done consistently, create massive results. This is the core idea of atomic habits. James Clear starts this journey with a powerful truth. Success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. Let that sink in. It's not the big wins that define your future. It's the small choices, the 5 minutes of reading, the glass of water instead of soda, the one push-up you did today, that quietly shape who you become tomorrow. Clear shares a story, not of an overnight millionaire, but of a man who rebuilt his life, step by step, after a life-changing injury. It wasn't luck. It was the compound power of tiny decisions, repeated every single day. He introduces a concept. Atomic habits, tiny routines that are incredibly easy to do, but incredibly powerful when repeated over time. And here's the twist. Most people fail to change not because they're lazy or unmotivated. They fail because they try to change the wrong way. They chase big goals with short bursts of willpower. But Atomic Habits offers a better path, one built on systems, identity, and the science of behavior change. This book isn't just about doing more. It's about becoming more, by aligning your habits with the kind of person you want to be. Do you want to be healthier? Don't focus on losing 10 kilograms. Focus on becoming the kind of person who never misses a workout. Want to be a writer? Don't aim to write a book. Aim to become the kind of person who writes every day. You don't need to overhaul your life in a day. You need to make one tiny change, and repeat it. That's the surprising power of atomic habits. And it's how you build a life you don't need to escape from. So sit back, open your mind, and get ready. Because this isn't just a book, it's a blueprint for transformation. Welcome to Atomic Habits, by James Clear. You're about to change your habits, and your life. Part 1. The Fundamentals. Why Tiny Changes Make a Big Difference. Atomic Habits by James Clear, narrated for Mind's Quotes. Chapter. The 1% Rule. Why Small Habits Make a Big Difference. Let's start with a simple question. What if you got just 1% better every single day? Doesn't sound like much, right? But here's the secret most people never realize. 1% improvements compound. Like interest on money, your habits stack over time. If you improve by just 1% each day for a year, you'll be 37 times better by the end of it. Not a little better. Not twice as good. 37 times. And that's the quiet, invisible magic of atomic habits. James Clear begins this journey by showing us that real change doesn't come from sudden breakthroughs. It comes from small decisions, repeated again and again. Think of an ice cube. You're in a cold room, 28 degrees. Nothing happens. 29. Still nothing. 30. 31. Then, at 32 degrees, crack. The ice begins to melt. That's what habits feel like. You keep going, see no results, and think, is this even working? But beneath the surface, something is happening. You're building momentum. The results don't show at first, but when they do, they appear all at once. This is what Clear calls the plateau of latent potential, the hidden valley where progress is happening, even if you can't see it. The truth. Goals are not what change your life. Systems do. Chapter. How your habits shape your identity, and vice versa. Now here's where it gets deeper. Most people try to change their habits by focusing on what they want to achieve. I want to lose weight. I want to write a book. I want to be rich. But James Clear says that's backward. Real change happens when you focus not on what you want to do, but on who you want to become. Ask yourself this. Who is the type of person who could achieve this goal? If you want to be fit, start thinking, I am a healthy person. If you want to write, think, I am a writer. Every small habit you perform is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Read one page. That's a vote for being a reader. Go for a short run. That's a vote for being an athlete. Identity change is the deepest level of habit change. Most people operate at the outcome level, results. Some go deeper to the process level, systems. But true change comes at the identity level. If you keep doing a habit, eventually you'll start to believe it's just who you are. And once your identity shifts, your behavior follows naturally. You don't have to force yourself. You just act like you. That's the real secret. Don't chase results. Become the person who gets those results. Chapter: How to Build Better Habits in 4 Simple Steps. So how do we actually build these powerful, identity-based habits? James Clear introduces a simple, science-backed system. The 4 laws of behavior change. Every habit, good or bad, follows a loop. Cue, craving, response, reward. So to build a good habit, you follow the 4 laws. 1. Make it obvious. 2. Make it attractive. 3. Make it easy. 4. Make it satisfying. Let's break this down. 1. Make it obvious. You can't change what you don't notice. Start by becoming aware of your habits. Want to drink more water? Put a bottle where you can see it. Want to stop scrolling at night? Leave your phone in another room. 2. Make it attractive. Our brains are wired to respond to dopamine, the feel-good chemical. So bundle your habits with something you enjoy. Want to exercise? Listen to your favorite music while doing it. Make the habit something you look forward to. 3. Make it easy. Forget about motivation. Make the habit so easy, you can't say no. Want to start reading? Just read 1 page. Want to meditate? Do 2 minutes. This is the power of the 2-minute rule. Scale every habit down to the smallest possible version. Because consistency beats intensity. 4. Make it satisfying. Your brain needs a reason to repeat the behavior. Track your progress. Celebrate small wins. Make success visible and rewarding. Because what is immediately rewarded is repeated, and what is punished is avoided. These 4 laws work together like gears in a machine. Use them to build good habits. Invert them to break bad ones. Make it invisible. Make it unattractive. Make it difficult. Make it unsatisfying. And here's the real magic. These changes are so small, so easy, that they don't feel like change. But day after day, they rewire your brain, shift your identity, and shape your future. Because in the end, your life isn't the result of a few big decisions. It's the result of 1,000 tiny ones. Welcome to the power of atomic habits. Part 2. The First Law, Make It Obvious. Atomic Habits by James Clear. Introduction. The Hidden Power of Cues. We like to think we are in control of our actions. That we act with logic, purpose, and intention. But what if I told you? Most of what you do every day isn't decided by you. It's decided by your environment. Not because you're weak. Not because you're lazy. But because your brain is constantly scanning for cues. Small signals that tell it what to do next. A phone buzz. A smell of coffee. A certain time of day. Each cue triggers a behavior, often without you even realizing it. This is where all habits begin. If you want to change your behavior, you don't need more motivation. You need to change what your brain sees first. That's the first law of atomic habits. Make it obvious. Chapter: The Man Who Didn't Look Right, The Importance of Cues. James Clear opens this section with a haunting story. A paramedic walks into a room and says, "Something doesn't feel right." No alarms are ringing. No symptoms are obvious. But deep in his brain, something feels off. Seconds later, the patient crashes. And that medic's gut instinct saves a life. Oh. Because his brain had unconsciously noticed subtle cues, skin tone, breathing rhythm, posture, all feeding into a silent alarm built from experience. Your brain is doing the same thing every single day. It sees a cue, triggers a craving, generates a response, and delivers a reward. Cue, craving, response, reward. This is the habit loop. You may think your habits begin with action, but they actually begin with awareness. If you can learn to recognize the cue, you can interrupt the pattern. You can redesign the habit. That's the power of making it obvious. Chapter: The best way to start a new habit, implementation intentions, and habit stacking. Let's say you want to start a new habit, maybe journaling, meditating, or drinking more water. But just wanting isn't enough. Saying, "I'll do it someday," guarantees you'll never do it. That's why James Clear introduces a simple formula to install new habits into your life. I will behavior at time in location. This is called an implementation intention, a clear, specific plan that your brain can follow like GPS. Not, "I'll work out this week," but "I'll work out at 6 p.m. in the living room on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday." Simple, sharp, real. But it gets even better. You can stack your new habit onto an existing habit. This is called habit stacking. Here's how. After I current habit, I will new habit. Example: after I brush my teeth, I'll meditate for 2 minutes. After I pour my morning coffee, I'll write 1 sentence in my journal. This method works because your brain already has a rhythm, and you're simply adding a new beat to the music. You're building a routine, 1 block at a time. Chapter: Motivation is overrated. Environment often matters more. We give way too much credit to motivation. But let's be honest, motivation comes and goes. What stays? Environment. James Clear says, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Look around you. Your phone, your fridge, your desk, your room. Each thing is silently shaping your behavior. If your gym clothes are buried in the closet, you won't work out. If cookies are on the counter, you'll eat them. If your phone is on the bed, you'll scroll at midnight. But if your journal is placed on your pillow, you'll write. If your water bottle is on your desk, you'll drink. If your to-do list is stuck on your laptop, you'll act. Environment design is one of the most powerful tools in behavior change. Make the cues of your good habits visible. Make the cues of your bad habits invisible. You don't need more discipline. You need better surroundings. Chapter: The Secret to Self-Control. Make bad habits invisible. Most people try to control bad habits with willpower. But willpower is a battle you fight every day. And battles eventually wear you down. The truth is, self-control is easier when you're not exposed to temptation. It's not about being stronger, it's about being smarter. If you want to stop checking social media, don't rely on discipline. Delete the app. Block the site. Put the phone in another room. If you want to stop eating junk food, don't just try harder. Don't buy it. Don't keep it around. Don't make it an option. Out of sight, out of mind, that's not just a phrase. It's a strategy. Clear writes, the people with the best self-control are the ones who structure their lives in a way that they don't have to use it. They win by designing their environment, not by fighting temptation. So here's what Part 2 teaches us. Habits don't happen by chance. They happen by cues, and those cues are all around you. If you want to change your behavior, don't rely on willpower. Change what your eyes see. Change what your brain expects. Change what your environment allows. That's the first law of atomic habits. Make it obvious. Because when the path is clear, the action becomes easy. Part 3. The second law. Make it attractive. Atomic Habits by James Clear. Introduction. Craving is the engine of habit. Why do we scroll for hours without even realizing it? Why do we keep opening the fridge, even when we're not hungry? And why do some habits feel like addiction, while others feel like a chore? The answer lies in one powerful word: craving. You see, every habit starts with a cue, but it's the craving that drives the action. Without craving, the cue is meaningless. Without desire, there's no habit loop. So the question becomes, how do you make good habits irresistible and bad ones repulsive? That's what the second law is all about. Make it attractive. Because when something feels good before you even do it, you'll do it again and again. Let's break it down. Chapter: How to Make a Habit Irresistible, Temptation Bundling and Dopamine. In 1954, Scientists made a fascinating discovery. They placed electrodes into the brains of rats and triggered a response in a specific region, the dopamine center. What happened? The rats became obsessed. They pressed the lever again and again, hundreds, even thousands of times, just to stimulate that feeling. And here's what's crazy. They weren't addicted to the reward. They were addicted to the anticipation of it. James Clear explains this beautifully. It's not the habit that's attractive. It's the feeling it gives us. We don't crave brushing our teeth. We crave a clean mouth. We don't crave working out. We crave the energy or the body we get from it. We don't crave scrolling. We crave distraction, novelty, escape. So how do we use this insight to build better habits? We use a method called temptation bundling. Here's how it works. Pair something you need to do with something you want to do. For example, want to go for a walk but you love Netflix? Only watch your favorite show while walking on the treadmill. Want to write more but love coffee shops? Only allow yourself a fancy coffee when you're writing. This simple pairing triggers dopamine even before the habit starts. Suddenly, the habit feels like a reward, not a task. Make your good habits feel attractive. Make them feel rewarding before they even begin. That's how you build momentum. Chapter: The Role of Family and Friends in Shaping Your Habits, Social Norms and Peer Pressure. Here's something we all know but rarely talk about. We become like the people we spend time with. Want to know your future? Look at your friends. We don't just copy what people do, we copy what people around us expect. James Clear explains. One of the deepest human desires is to belong. From childhood, we're wired to imitate, especially 1. The close, family and friends. 2. The many, society and culture. 3. The powerful, leaders and influencers. You start dressing like your group, eating like them, even thinking like them. So if your friends stay out late, eat junk, and hate exercise, you will too. But if your circle reads, meditates, or trains for marathons, that becomes normal for you. That's the power of the tribe. Want to change your habits? Change your circle. Join a group where your desired behavior is the norm. Surround yourself with people who are already doing what you want to do. Because nothing is more attractive than being accepted. And nothing shapes habits more than wanting to fit in. Chapter: How to Find and Fix the Causes of Your Bad Habits, Inversion of the Second Law. Now let's flip the script. We know how to make good habits attractive. But what if we want to break bad habits? James Clear introduces the inversion of the second law. Make it unattractive. This isn't about guilt or punishment. It's about changing the story you tell yourself about the bad habit. Let's say you smoke to relieve stress. But what if you reframed it like this? I don't need a cigarette. I'm not relieving stress, I'm feeding addiction. Or maybe you scroll late at night. What if you told yourself, I'm not relaxing. I'm trading tomorrow's energy for today's escape. By rewriting the story, you rewire the craving. Clear says, every behavior has a surface-level craving and a deeper underlying motive. We want to check social media, but the deeper craving is connection. We want to eat, but the deeper craving is comfort. We want to buy things, but the deeper craving is identity. So ask yourself, what am I really craving? Is there a healthier way to meet that need? Replace the bad habit by replacing the craving behind it. Imagine this. You want to wake up early every day, exercise for 30 minutes, read for an hour, eat clean, journal your thoughts, and sleep by 10 p.m. You're motivated, you're inspired, you're ready. But 2 days later, you're snoozing the alarm, skipping the workout, scrolling instead of reading. What went wrong? You didn't fail because you were lazy. You didn't fail because you lacked discipline. You failed because your habits were too hard, too complicated, too overwhelming. And here's the truth James Clear uncovers in Part 4 of Atomic Habits. The key to sticking with good habits is to make them as easy as possible. Because when something is easy, it becomes automatic. And when it's automatic, it becomes effortless. The third law of behavior change: make it easy. At the heart of Part 4 is one powerful idea. We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. This law is not about perfection. It's about progress. Not about doing more, but doing it effortlessly. Let's break it down. Chapter 10. Walk slowly, but never backward. Don't aim to be perfect. Just aim to take action. In this chapter, James tells us, success doesn't come from a massive transformation. It comes from repetition. From doing, not just planning. He compares habit building to walking. Don't sprint. Don't leap. Just walk. But here's the golden rule. Never miss twice. If you skip once, forgive yourself. But get back on track immediately. That's how consistency builds. That's how habits stick. Chapter 11. The Law of Least Effort. Humans are lazy by nature. That's not a flaw, that's biology. Our brains are wired to choose the path of least resistance. So if something's hard, even if it's good for us, we'll probably avoid it. That's why James says, if you want a habit to stick, reduce the friction. Want to eat healthy? Chop veggies ahead of time. Want to exercise? Keep your gym clothes by your bed. Want to read more? Place the book on your pillow. Don't fight your biology. Design your life to make good habits easy and bad habits hard. Chapter 12. The 2-minute rule. This chapter reveals a superpower. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Yes, just 2 minutes. Want to write a novel? Just write one sentence. Want to run daily? Just tie your shoes. Want to meditate? Just sit for 2 minutes. Because once you begin, momentum takes over. Starting is the hardest part. So James teaches, make starting effortless. This isn't about doing less. It's about making the beginning so small, your brain can't say no. Chapter 13. Make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. Here, James dives into the power of automation and commitment devices. The best way to build a habit is to remove the need to decide. Let technology work for you. Set recurring calendar events. Use automatic reminders. Subscribe to a healthy food plan. Block distractions with apps. You can also use commitment devices. Lock away your phone. Give your friend $500 every time you miss a habit. Tell the world your goals. Make it public. Make the good habits so automatic, and the bad ones so difficult, that success becomes your default path. Final thoughts on Part 4. The truth is, most of us don't need more motivation. We need better design, better systems, better habits. And that starts with the third law. Make it easy. Because easy becomes repeatable. Repeatable becomes automatic. And automatic becomes your new identity. So remember this. Success is not about doing more. It's about doing less, more consistently. That's the magic of small, simple, easy habits. And that's how transformation begins. Fully human tone and hook, and like an audiobook, and interesting and engaging, only need introduction and very deep details. Have you ever wondered why we return to certain habits again and again, while others vanish like a New Year's resolution in February? The answer lies in one simple, universal truth. What is immediately rewarded is repeated. What is immediately punished is avoided. In this final, powerful part of the journey, James Clear introduces us to the fourth and final law of behavior change. Make it satisfying. Why satisfying? Because human behavior doesn't respond to logic as much as it responds to emotion. Your brain craves feedback, instant feedback. It doesn't care how good a habit is in the long run if it doesn't feel good right now. Let's go back a few thousand years. Imagine a time when survival meant hunting, gathering, staying warm, and avoiding danger. In those days, instant gratification wasn't just a luxury, it was life or death. Eat now or starve. Find shelter now or freeze. In that world, doing something right now that led to an immediate benefit was the key to survival. Fast forward to today, and our brains haven't evolved all that much. We still chase rewards. Still avoid discomfort. Still want to feel good now, not later. So here's the challenge. Most of the best habits in life, saving money, going to the gym, studying, don't offer instant rewards. They ask for effort today, but the benefits come weeks, months, or even years later. And that's why so many good habits fail, and bad habits thrive. Smoking. Feels good instantly. Scrolling endlessly on social media? Instant dopamine hit. Eating a donut? Delicious, right now. Meanwhile, your good choices, like meditation or journaling, feel like work today, with the payoff coming someday. And because the reward is delayed, your brain often says, skip it. So, what do? James Clear offers a breakthrough idea. If you want a habit to stick, you must make the ending of it satisfying. The more emotionally rewarding the habit feels in the moment, the more your brain will want to return to it. This is the psychological glue that makes habits stick. And just like the first 3 laws, make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, this 4th law completes the transformation. It's the final key that turns effort into effortlessness. In this part, you'll discover why habit tracking is so powerful, and why just crossing a box can motivate you. How rewards, even tiny ones, can rewire your brain for long-term consistency. The surprising strength of accountability partners, and why social pressure can become your secret weapon. And then, James takes us beyond. Because once you've mastered the basics, there's one final question. How do you go from good to great? That's where the advanced tactics come in. In the bonus chapters ahead, you'll explore the truth about talent, and how to discover the habits that match your DNA. The Goldilocks rule, the science of staying motivated without burning out. And finally, the hidden danger of success. How great habits, if left unchecked, can trap you in comfort zones. So as we step into the final stage of our habit journey, remember this. A habit grows best not just in discipline, but in delight. Because if it feels good, your brain says, let's do that again. That, my friend, is the magic of making it satisfying. Let's begin. Imagine this. You've changed. Not overnight. Not through massive effort. But slowly, almost invisibly. One small choice here. One better habit there. One skipped distraction. One more focused minute. And now, you've built something unstoppable. This is the secret to results that last. Not magic. Not motivation. But momentum. James Clear closes Atomic Habits with a simple but powerful truth. Lasting change doesn't come from chasing goals. It comes from falling in love with systems. From embracing the process, day by day, no matter how small the progress seems. Let's break it down. Results are a byproduct of your identity. You don't need to change the world in a day. You just need to prove to yourself, consistently, this is who I am now. Want to be a reader? Read 1 page. Do it every day. Want to be healthy? Skip the soda. Walk around the block. Each action is a vote for the kind of person you wish to become. And those votes add up. Why habits must be built to last. You've learned the 4 laws of behavior change. 1. Make it obvious. 2. Make it attractive. 3. Make it easy. 4. Make it satisfying. These aren't just rules. They're tools. They help you build habits that stick, and break the ones that hold you back. And once you set them in motion, your life begins to run on autopilot, driven by better systems, not short-lived motivation. Mastery is a lifetime habit. Here's a truth you need to hear. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So stop obsessing over results. Fall in love with the process. The journey is the destination. Track your habits. Refine your identity. Stick with the boring work of consistency. That's how greatness is built. Not in bursts, but in beats. The final challenge. Clear leaves you with this question. Are your current habits taking you to the person you want to become? If the answer is no, it's time to rewrite your story. Start small. Start now. But start. Because in the end, you don't just build habits. Habits build you. Thank you for listening to this powerful conclusion of Atomic Habits. If this sparked a shift in your mindset, subscribe to Mind's Quotes for more human-driven audiobooks, one powerful idea at a time.